And there go the dings. So he must be live. And obviously Damnation's not going to tell me we're live this time. So anyway, howdy everyone. It is time for Crow's Nest No Quarter. This one's episode 44. It's called Battle Weary. And we'll say howdy to everyone on the panel. We've got a few spots open. If you'd like to join us, I'm just going to put the link. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for that. Anyway, back to where I was. So yeah, so the link's in the Google chat if you want to jump in and talk about some battle pirates. So Ross is the first on my list today. So we'll say g'day, Ross.
Good day, everyone.
And howdy to Simba Dakota.
Hello.
Howdy, Toxic.
G'day, everyone. How are we?
Travis is going to be with us if he makes it home.
I'll just walk through the door.
Oh, here he is. Hey, well done. G'day, Dooms. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Doing good. Doing good. Good to see you got home safe. We've got Damnation.
Yepper.
And me, RB. So what does everyone want to talk about tonight? We've got the Battleground and Battleground event and VXP weekend going on. So I guess that's the first topic. So who's doing it and what are you doing it with?
Well, I go first. I got the razors and my my hydras, which I hit targets with. Took me a while to figure out the 98 with the hydras to not get damaged a lot, and by figuring that out, I've come upon a glitch. I as you start in the bottom left in the 98, I drove straight up to the top left, and as I clicked up the top left, I must have just by accident hit a certain spot on the water, and it highlighted my.
Do you want to screen share that, because just talking about it is probably going to be hard for people to understand what you're talking about.
I can do that. Well, if someone else wants to go while I launch a fleet and hit a 98, well, it's probably going to take a minute or two before I get out and find one and hop in.
Here, I can fill up a minute or two. I went out and I did like 2 of the top stats. I got like 60,000 points. I got some VXP tokens for my Phantom Strike, and I'm just like, I'm probably not really even gonna do much of this event at all. It's something I don't feel that where I'm at right now, I don't feel like I need to do it. And none of the prizes or all that, like, oh, I gotta have it. So I'm actually probably not going to do much of anything this weekend as far as Battle Pirates is concerned. You know, even the leaderboard prizes, I'm like, ooh, wow, I get a grease monkey if I'm first. It would be much easier and cheaper for me to go roll through a bunch of uranium, as opposed to like, oh, I got a coin and get like 1 million points, so I get a grease monkey. That just seems silly to me. But I mean, I'm glad to see that there's not like make or break prizes in those leaderboards this time too, as well. So you know, that in my opinion, that's a great thing. All right, Toxic, that was 2 minutes. So if you don't have your ship out on the water and in a 98 yet, you lied to us.
Okay, now I'm in. So this is the 98, and see this turret here in the bottom right, where it shows me the path where the angles of where it does fire, where it will hit you and where it will not. And then you've got all these other little turrets in the middle here that when you click on it, you get the little orange box around it and whatnot. Now, I clicked up here, and as you can see, as I sort of move the mouse around up there, there's one like at the bottom that just highlighted. There's the next one to the right. That's the turret that I just spoke about, the one at the bottom right. That gives you the angle, the what do you call it?
The arc.
The arc, that's the one. So that's highlighted there now. If you accidentally click on that, and I will click on it now, as you can see, my cursor is on the top left, and the turret is highlighted on the bottom right. Now, if I click on that bit of the water there, the ship will automatically go that way. And if you're unlucky, as I was when I first did it, I started clicking around up the top there. It would not disengage, and it just kept going, and I took some unwanted damage. So you just be aware that if you're in that top corner there, as you can still see the island, there is some spots where you can activate certain turrets on the island.
Yeah, I noticed when you first did that, the water highlighted, so you can actually see where you've clicked. So there's obviously something that's activating in there.
Yeah, and when I did this and I come out after I'd finished it, I noticed that I had very, very little BXP, even though I killed the fleets up the top and the bottom and everywhere. I didn't have really very much BXP, so what I had done, I'd start at the start. We all know that, or so it goes, that if you don't dock your fleet, the crew that's on will keep working. Now, if that is right, I'm not sure, but I docked my fleet, and I used to be able to launch it with the app, with the phone app, and leave that very same crew on, and I thought that it would still work. And I think I've mentioned it on one of the shows that I've launched it with the app and it works. Well, it doesn't. I've tried it. I've hit the top left fleet there, which is the easiest one to hit, and I didn't get anything for it, or very, very little. So put a new crew on, did the same thing, and got a lot. So if you do that with the app, I thought it worked, and it doesn't. I did the same with the Hydras.
It may have worked until I heard you mention it on one of the shows, and then they fixed it.
That could be too. It could also be that. It could also be that I actually went to the dock and launched it with the app rather than have left it out on the water. So yeah, it didn't work for me neither with the demo crew that I had on, so it took less damage, nor did the salty work. Yeah, apart from that, it's not going too bad. I've ranked my eradicators by hitting 98 targets, not the ones in the event, just the normal BXP targets, and I've gotten all bar one of my eradicators sculled.
Well, actually, isn't the 98 one of the ones in the event? It's the 100 that's not the one in the event?
Yeah, sorry. Yes, that's correct. Yes. It's the 100 and 102 that you can get the two different types, not the 98. Yeah, so that's the experience that I had in this event, i.e. BXP.
No, wait, it's not even the 100, because the 100 is the battery target, and the 90 and the 102 is the razor pin. What's the one that's not in the event?
There is. I thought it was the 90, the 98.
100. Yeah, they got the same numbers.
Oh yeah, so they do have the same numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, one is around the
The tower.
SSRBs, and the other one's around the tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that's my experience anyway.
I love when they give stuff the same numbers. That doesn't make things confusing at all.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Especially with the crowding on the map too. It makes it even harder. Well, I might as well say, because there's no point in not saying anything. So I have only hit 2 targets. I don't know. I'm just not really into this event at all, and I'm just not interested. That's the problem. And I don't like being like this, but I just yeah, I've just got this. When we were talking about the name of the show, it was like all I could come up with was like battle weary, battle tired, battle fatigue, because with everything that's going on, I mean, it's just too much, basically. But there's no point in saying that because it's not going to change. So
I'm tired of having
hard
an event. I'm tired of having an event every single fucking week.
yeah.
It's a coin grab. All it is.
Yeah. So yeah, my experience of it, I can't really talk to very much of it because I'm really just not interested. This FM is like, there's so much that we need to get out of it, and a lot of people. Oh, good one. Yeah, a lot of people say that you just get out of it what you need, but you're only going to end up having to get it at some stage anyway. So to me, I always try and get as much as I can, but I've still got so much to do, and then this event, it just makes me not interested. So yeah. Ross, how's your event going?
For me, it's not so bad. I guess I've been trying to get through it. I'm at, let's see here, 95,000. So, but I don't have any complete sets. I don't have a complete interdictor fleet. I'll be honest, my interdictors just absolutely suck. And they really
Eradicators?
do. My eradicators, sorry, not my eradicators. My fleet of 4, they're sculled, but just the 4 without the lead. The lead's being built. It's a long way to go still. I mean, it's just it's blank. I did get it out, and I got it ranked, or almost somewhat ranked, 60 in its 60 range, but it's just got 1 gun. So it doesn't have any opportunity to get out and get any rank by doing the fleet kill the ship thing, little trick, and then wait out the time and retreat. So I'm going after this competition and hitting just 2 targets, no completion bonus. So I'm stopping. When it's something I'd like to do, but I don't have the fleets for it. So I'm stopping when I just get the 5 for the brutal eradicator. That's the ship I have out there that I need ranked the most, and that's the one I'm just going for. And I was a little shocked by design that to find out that I can't earn enough tokens to rank it in the entire event. That was kind of strange. I know that everybody else has probably noticed that already, but I just think that that's a weird by design. Why would you make something by design not to make players not to be able to rank their things? I mean, all the way up to the max. Just silly. But so that's where I'm at. I'm at 95, and I'm slowly hitting the 102 target. But I'm just I have like 1 more hit, and I think it's a wrap for me. And I have the tokens, I think.
I'll give you my tinfoil hat theory on why you can't get enough tokens to rank it the whole way if you want.
Why is that?
Because if you can find a target that you can do for pretty much free to no damage, then you would not have to pay any money at all to put any rank on that thing. But the way it's set up now, you at least have to take it out and kill the damn thing off a couple times, so you got to coin it. That's my tinfoil hat theory about the whole thing.
If you do what I do or what I did, and you just hit that top left boat, you can. I'm pretty sure you can almost do it like with the last VXP weekend and this one. You can probably do it for nothing.
If your ship doesn't have any weapons on it, you can't.
No, you need weapons on it. Yeah, that's true.
Right. I mean, I was really pumping it out to just to get the shell out with 1 weapon on it.
Are they armored? Are they armored though?
No. I mean, the lead. I'm talking about just the lead, the Eradicator. The rest of my 4 Eradicator, other 4 are fully built, garbage, but fully built. And so they've got a lot of refits to do. But I'm really counting on just building out the lead correct from this point on, and then going from there. And
I was going to say, if you had an armor, at least one plate of armor on, you'd probably be right for a bit. You probably do, maybe 2 or 3 before it'll be dead. So I've only got 1 plate of armor on it, and yeah, as you know, my build's a bit different. So.
And what about you, Simba? How's your event going?
Not really doing too much. I'm just starting to hit some 98s, messing around. I don't want a 58. I want a 98.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenging time, so it's a bit hard if we don't have a lot to talk about. So,
well, it's a disappointment. I mean, the prices are crap. I mean, shit. You can VXP your shit the old-fashioned way. Why have to earn tokens? Everything else I have in base is mainly Scald.
Well, in all honesty, I really, really like the fact that they're looking into other options other than just suiciding death VXP. Whether this is a success or not, I'm okay with it not being a success the first time out. I really am. This is Kixeye after all. But I'm pretty happy that they're looking into something. I can't say that this is a success. In my opinion, it's kind of a not so much, but it's something, I'm not just killing off watching a fleet die. I hate that. I do. I hate that. So.
I myself, I'm just thrilled to death that they have finally had an event that I feel like if I don't participate, that's okay. And I'm not totally fucking banged. You know what I mean? Because every event they have, normally it's like if you don't participate, you're screwed. Coming up because you're not going to have this, or you're not going to have that, or you're not going to have a flag, or you're not going to have a special armor or whatever. Like, I don't feel like that with this event. I can, if I don't want to do anything, that's okay.
And I noticed that, the game's running pretty smooth. Yeah, don't you think? I mean,
for the amount of targets on the map, I was amazed I didn't have any lag. I mean, where I'm at, and that, you can hardly see a bit of water. It's full of everything. There is just no room at all. You sometimes you click on something and before you know it, you're in a cargo because you didn't see it was parked underneath and you accidentally clicked it. It's just crazy, but it hasn't been negative. I had no lag or it's been normal.
Well, for those of you guys who are doing the event, let me ask you this: are you noticing a lot of activity that other people are doing in the event, or is it kind of medium, or is it pretty dead, or what are you noticing when you're out hitting stuff?
It's dead.
I've seen one other person hit something while I was out hitting things. That was about it.
I'm just wondering, just building on Ross's thing about performance is pretty good. I'm just wondering if that has to do with a lot of people might not be participating. That's why performance is good.
That could very well be, but how would you know?
Yeah, I would guess that would be that would be correct. I'm not seeing the mass.
I'm seeing more people hitting FM targets than I do.
Yes.
The VXP targets. I mean, there's always someone they hit an FM target here, but not many doing the VXP event.
But I do have to agree with Ross though on I do like the idea that they are trying to put other avenues out there to get VXP. So it's not just constantly have to go kill your fleet, kill your fleet, kill your fleet, kill your fleet. So I mean, that is cool. You know, I mean, I think this is probably not the best time for it. Maybe is the big thing because it's like, well, most people had blank eradicator hulls at least that they got ranked last VXP weekend. So this current VXP weekend, I don't think people have a whole lot to rank. I think is why another part of the reason why we're probably not seeing a whole bunch of activity out there.
I've got a shrine to, or whatever you call it.
A strike?
Yeah. I got one of those I got to rank, but I don't feel like it.
Yeah, so I guess you won't be that penalised anyway, because if you wait for the next VXP weekend, you'd be able to do it then. So
yeah, I'd rather have more than one to rank it.
That's right.
Stuff going.
Yeah, because otherwise you're always going to have that catch-up mechanism, and you're going to have to get them to the same rank at the same time anyway. So you may as well just wait for both of them, I guess. So.
Well, yeah, and Vicky asked in chat, just brought up a really good point too. Like, I don't know how many people have mentioned this before. It's like, I really wish the VXP stuff was the week before the raid, not the week right after the raid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That gives you time to get your hulls built, get some shit on them that you can actually participate and actually kill some stuff, maybe, as opposed to like, yeah, I'm just running out there and killing my boats. But I think that falls back into lately everything is just pressure to coin. And if they made it the week before the raid, there wouldn't be that pressure to coin that you would have having it the week after the raid.
Yeah, definitely. And certainly with the FM pressure, it just makes it, a lot to do. So
you mean the weekly raid?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Cool. So has anyone got any other topics that they want to talk about? It's good to see that you can actually play now, Ross. Is there something that's changed, or is your game just magically improved by itself?
It totally just magically improved by itself. Yeah, my whole debacle, my whole thing just kind of went out of whack. When last time my game was horrible, I missed the last couple events, and so my friend's having some problems and goes into the doctor, and well, anyway, so has me log into his account for him just to check his account. So I just can't say it because I'm not sure if you can do that or not, but it just what happened. So I do from my location, my same location, I check on his account, and it runs perfectly smooth. You got to be kidding me. I was so pissed off. So I did a couple, made sure his base was okay for him, and logged out and logged back into mine, and it was junk. What? So I'm okay with it anymore. I totally understand. I know it's not me. I've verified it, so I'm good with it. Now I just know it's not me. It's them.
Yeah. You didn't do strange widdershins around a hat or anything like that?
No, it's just a weird thing, I'm glad it's working now.
Well, I'm glad it's working now for you too. So, because you had a pretty bad experience for a long time, and as we all know, if you take a month off for any reason, or even a few weeks, you've got a hard, long journey to catch back up. So, which is part of the reason that we keep on playing this game. But anyway.
The flip side of that, too, though, is if you have a month off, it becomes much easier to walk away at that point, too.
That's true. That is true.
In all honesty, that's what I'm stepping away from the game more and more because it wasn't working for me. So the more and more that things don't work or they're not fun, that's them leaving me. I'm still sitting here. So in all honesty, I like the game. So I'm glad today my game's working. You know, is it great? I don't know. It's not a great fun game, but I'm here. You know.
Cool. All right. So one of the other things that's come up is that
We
they've
haven't
done
heard from actually we haven't heard from Travis at all yet. So let's ask him as far as his VXP thing, how it's going.
True.
There you go, Travis.
Well, you know, to me, VXP's VXP. They can paint it with the leaderboard or whatever. To me, it's not an event. It's still a purpose. It's a strategy. So all I did was, you know, I hit the 100 and the 102 with my bat raise, and then I hit the 98. And what I did was I just went counterclockwise so I can take out the first thrower and then work my way around. Then I'll usually time out. Then I'll bring my hydras in and I'll take out the slug throwers from the top over the mountains because those things hurt now. To me, the ballistic damage has been increased. So you might want to consider that. So I take that out and then I'll just bring the rest of the fleet in to take out. I use one ship to take out each of their ships to get the max VXP off of each ship per one of mine. And then I just take everything else out. So when I'm not doing that, another way I was doing it was actually just running 5 separate ships. Now some of mine only have 2 weapons and like the lowest radiation armor that possibly in the game, the level 1 that's on there. But I was just autoing 38s. Now, yeah, it's only 250 points, but you do that times 5, and you know, 10 minutes, you're already over 5,000 points. But it's just a lot of micromanaging. So doing that on the phone, it's not bad, but it's not ideal. So I think I got like 57 or 47 out of the event, but I was able to get my ships up because even in those little targets, I was coming back with like 5,000 VXP per ship. You know, now I was hitting like 10 or 12, but you can auto repair your eradicators, even crappy ones.
I don't see how the hell you play on the phone in the first place. So good on you.
In a way, it's kind of fun, just depending on. All right, let me back up. PvE is fun on the phone because it's more tapping, you know, and it's just it's natural. If you're a gamer, you can do it. Hitting bases on the phone, oh,
That's a nightmare.
Fuck, man, it's hard.
That's
like
hard.
sometimes I'll just like miss something like real bad, just like misclick it, and then like, you know, my fleet rolls into something. They're like, "Aha, Dooms, you suck." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I ain't gonna explain what I just done."
Dude, I got fat stubby fingers. I click everything but what I try to click when I'm trying to do shit on my phone, gaming wise.
But you know, so while I was doing the FM, when I was hitting the 114s, that's when I was autoing the 38s individually. You know, like I said, they're instant repair. So I just tried to set a purpose and not look at it as an event. Like, how am I going to use my strategy to get what I need? You know, so at the minimal effort. I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to put a lot into it, you know.
Minimal effort and the 0 coin tag is what we're looking for.
Yeah. But you know, I've got the brutal up to 73% now, and now that I've got the CL4 and the Nuke 3 on there, and then I went ahead and actually put the shells on there to boost my projectile speed and my ballistic damage, and it just, with my build, it was working. But I finally could see criticals working once I finally got that put together. I was putting out enough damage to where you can tell a noticeable difference now. If the one thing I wished it had was just a little bit of reload, and it would just, dude, it would murder stuff. because you can watch when that critical hits, it'll take a significant chunk off of the bar when compared to when normal hits are hitting. It's pretty cool. I just wish there was some way that I could keep my speed and then boost my reload too. But I've crunched a lot of numbers, and this is the first fleet I've actually had to sit down. And you know, it wasn't just like battle cards has always kind of been natural to me. Like I sort of knew what was going to work. This one, 3 specials can change everything in this fleet. It's insane. It really is. So I only figured out what I wanted, and
And the one thing I noticed too, it's like, okay, if you decide you want to use this one special here, that kind of changes all the other specials that you have to use because stuff not stacking with one another.
exactly. It's
You
like
know,
a whole
'cause, like,
different configuration.
when I was looking at the Nuke Accelerator 3 that came out in the FM, I'm like, oh, that would be kind of cool to put on my fleet. And then I got looking at what I would change as far as all my other specials. And I'm like, dude, I have to change almost every goddamn special that I already have on to get this thing to work. I ain't gonna happen.
So that's why I stuck. I mean, you know, kind of what my build is, and I was just like, well, I've got this now, so I might as well go with the Nuke 3 instead of going Cannon System 5. But it's fun, you know. Now that it works, my flagship works better. So. But I still got a lot to do on the other ships. You know, like I said, some of them just has 2 guns, and you know, I think one of them has just a R plate of armor, and then the other ones just has one of these limited armors that's in the FM. But so there's a lot of work to be done still.
My whole game plan for the next raid is, since I was able to do the first raid with just the brutal flag, I'm hoping the next raid I can do with the brutal flag plus one more boat. You know. But we'll see how that plan works out. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, so do I. So I don't think I'm gonna have another finished, because I've maybe I get a third, but had a big stuff up, and I think I've told you guys that I thought I was in my dock and cancelled the repair,
Yeah,
but I was in my shipyard and cancelled the build. I just spent 3 tokens on.
Only you, Todd.
Only me. Only me. But hey.
What else we got on the main
Not a lot, really. They have put out BP next week, which is on my screen at the moment. So it's mainly about bounties. So that I thought would be an interesting one to talk about. I mean, even though we don't... I don't know. Sometimes I think there's no point in just speculating about things because, you know, it is what it is. But there are a few differences in this bounty. So again, they're tweaking it. So if you haven't seen it, there's we're going to get another Wrong Thinker Thinks on Monday, and that's going to be a lot of words about not very much. And then it's the briefing for bounties. So this one has several improvements, including the addition of prizes for placement on a personal leaderboard. So they've seen how successful that is. Thanks, everyone, for doing that. The bounty store being open during the activity, which is pretty significant. And then the one that we were kind of curious about was the player hitting limits. So I'm really not sure what they're going to do with that. So has anyone got any thoughts about all of that?
I have no idea if they're going to come up with some new system based more on tech level as opposed to player level. I don't know. They come up with all these big sweeping changes. They don't bother to ask anybody what they think about it. They don't bother to ask anybody if they want it. They just take it upon themselves to, this is what we're going to do. So I have no idea.
I know one thing. I'm glad that store's open because coming back and playing the bounties, that was one thing I hated the worst. It's like, man, if I could just get that thing, I got the freaking points.
Well, see, the reason that was kind of the reason that the store had always been closed until the end of the event, because they didn't want the access to the new hull and people coining it right away to skew everything. Yeah. But apparently, I guess now they're just in such a tizzy that we need money. They don't care whether they skew the whole thing anymore.
Well, it could be limited. Like you could get older stuff, but maybe not the new. I don't know. So, but
the way I'm reading it, as far as the stores open, means like as soon as you get the prizes for the new shit, you can get it and coin it and have it out and be wrecking people.
And bang, you're there. Yep. That's what I mean. That's kind of how that last event went, or basically, with the added just for those players that coined the hull immediately. That's the first time ever too. So we are kind of seeing a new change to battle pirates for the immediate high coining whales, and it really is key. This is immediate effect.
I have to say, I think it's bad for the health of the game overall. I really do.
Well, maybe the limits of hitting and quality of life improvements, like maybe they're going to establish something where, like if you do have like the new tech that you might be, I don't know.
I know it. It's going to be players that have level 15 warehouses can only hit players with level 15 warehouses, and nobody can hit me.
Well, I was just thinking, do we know? Has there been any announcement on what this should be? Because I guess it could be the next in the tier 8 hitting fleets. We've got the lurker for the defender, unless it's a turret or something like that.
Might be another turret.
Sorry, Damnation, what was that?
I said it might be another turret. If it is, I sure as hell hope it's better than the last turret, because that last turret was a piece of dog poop.
Yeah. And what were you going to say, Dames?
I was saying I think it would be a turret just because it'd be too soon for a counter on the lurker. Something that I assume later on there'll be a cavitation field of sort on some tier 8 attacker, but I don't think it'll be now.
I'm not sure that I necessarily agree that it would be too soon for a counter for the lurker, though, because defense is the side that always gets the shaft.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't surprise me to see a counter for the lurker already before most people even have a lurker built.
Well, in this rare case, that might not be so bad because it's such a new tactic to counter in a couple of various ways or get decimated by in a couple of ways. So maybe, I don't know. I haven't faced one yet, and I've been looking. I know I'm going to regret it, but I've tried.
All right. Well, I'm sure with people who have gotten, and yeah, I know this is something we want to talk about too. People who got refunded or reimbursed for their OP hulls that they built or whatever. I'm sure lots of people use that coin or tokens or whatever they got. I think it was coins in most parts to go ahead and speed up their lurkers to put them in their base. So I'm sure there's a fair amount of them out there already.
Yeah. But it's like I said, on the phone, it's clunky trying to navigate stuff. Even trying to pull up the locator window sometimes is a bitch. So I get what I can,
I'm in awe that you can do any of this stuff because I know when I was using Puffin a long time ago, it was pretty tricky then. So, and I guess phones have gotten bigger, but even still, bloody hell.
I have problems typing on my phone, much less trying to do precision driving in battle fighters.
Yeah, I agree. So that was your lead-in, Simba. In case you didn't guess that, because we were talking about refunds and stuff like that, and you had a rage that you were refunded with.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got about plus 500. I just round in coins.
Now let me ask you something. How long did you use that rage for?
I used it more fleet on fleet.
But for how long?
Few weeks.
So I mean, like my big problem is like I don't necessarily feel that people should have gotten refunded on some of those holes because number one, they knew as soon as they saw it start performing the way it was, they knew it was going to be overpowered and Kix was going to nerf it. That was no question. They knew something was going to happen from the get go. But number two, it's like people had these boats for weeks and weeks, and in some case, like a month and a half or whatever, and were able to go out and wreak all kinds of havoc and take medals from tons of players and people who were using them for basic and whatnot. I'm like, should you really be reimbursed at that point in time because you got your use out of them?
Yeah, it was a bit of a tricky announcement, and it's interesting because, like F was saying on the weekly show, it's like they didn't particularly specify that that this is a once-off thing. So, like we said, if we find things like this in the future, are we just going to go absolutely crazy on them, and then knowing that you're going to get refunded? It's a pretty strange way of doing things. So,
and then there's the flip side of that too. There's the flip side of that too. That's people who built all the countermeasure holes to combat the arbalists or whatever.
Yeah,
the arbalist gets like this huge buff, and which in turn directly nerfs all the countermeasure holes by not necessarily like we've gone in and changed these values, but no, we changed the value on this, which makes these holes totally obsolete now. Why don't those people get reimbursed? I mean, shit, you didn't even announce that you were going to do that change.
Yeah.
That change was a sneak in and a strange one, in my opinion.
Overkill.
Strange, but
yeah.
I mean, a horrible overkill because like it's the way it's always been. Those people, sure, maybe they could shut down ballistic dreads if they put in like 2 or 3 counter holes in there, but guess what? By putting those 2 or 3 counter holes in there, they totally opened themselves up to pretty much everything else.
Right.
It's like, oh, you got 3 countermeasure ballistic holes in there, sweet, here I come with my scattergun arms. Scattergun arms, scattergun dreads.
Right. Yeah. But
it's I don't know. That one pisses me off. That one pisses me off pretty fucking bad, actually.
And I have several holes loaded with the countermeasures myself. I just got those done, and those aren't fast builds either. So
no, they're not.
Now I did get quite a bit compensation, but I'll be honest, my entire guard was nerfed to crap. I got left with 1 ship left, that they didn't nerf on my guard fleet. So that's pretty rough. And I'm still working on getting that together. I'm still a little ways off just from the changes they made, and that's from Refactor 2.
Yes, yeah, I'm not.
That's okay. In 3 months, we'll have Refactor 3.
Yeah, no, I understand that, so I guess if as long as they're going to compensate each time, okay. I guess.
Heaven forbid we get the shit right out the first time we fucking put it out.
Right. It'd make it easier, wouldn't it? I mean, gee.
Yeah. And so did you guys get a pop-up in the game, or how did you know? Did you just see that your coin amount had gone up, or how did that work?
I got no pop-up, no explanation, no breakdown, no nothing, just a coin increase.
Yeah, that's the same thing I got. I was reloading my base and looked up and saw I had more coin.
Right. No,
because that's kind of what I was curious about, because it's like you don't even know how they've calculated the amount that they've refunded to you. So how do you know if that equates to the same amount? You've got you know, it's a very hard thing to work out. So it's kind of bizarre. So I don't know if I should really talk much to this because I'm so pissed off about it. It's just incredible that it's almost like
That's no quarter, bitch. Say what you want.
it's almost like they were sitting around the office this week and it's like, oh man, it's a quiet week. My manager's really going to need to see the work that I've done this week. So shit, what am I going to do? Do I give a report to say that I've fixed the armor on one ship because it was, you know, it was changed in the game, or do I go, hey, look, quick, everybody, quick, let's change this, and this. George, you go and do this. I don't know why I picked George. Bill, you go and do this. You know, Trevor, you go and do this. Sandy, you go and do this. And then we'll all come back and we'll say to our manager, look, we've got this great report. We've nerfed 50 ships and this is going to fix everything. And it just pisses me the fuck off. But that's my rant. I'm done.
And all those people don't play the game. Yeah.
Well,
but
that's
the report
problem.
looks great this week.
Yeah. And we were busy.
That's the problem. I mean, I didn't build any of the hulls that were mentioned, but I used another hull to put my countermeasures on. I didn't get a red cent, and it takes just as long to put countermeasure on one hull than it does on the other. So you know.
No, I didn't get anything for the countermeasure. Nobody got anything for the countermeasures though. Yeah,
that's what you know. I'm just saying. It takes just as much time. Doesn't matter what hull you put it on. You still have to build it, and you have to put the specials on, and you have to put the countermeasures on.
And I mean, you know, had it been a thing where the meta part of the game had slowly changed, slowly evolved, you know, to where my countermeasure siren was useless at that point, that would be one thing. But for you to make a sweeping change that suddenly from one day to the next makes my countermeasure siren totally worthless, no, fuck that, dude. You owe me something. You owe me something for doing that because you actively screwed me.
Yeah. And it would have been so much easier just to fix the actual issue that you didn't test in the first place and you released. So now going forward into Bounty, what happens with the next prize, whatever it is, whether it's a hull or whether it's a turret. So, you know, what do we do with that? Do we just go crazy with it and use it and then find out that, we'll change everything else? It's like, I just don't understand where we're going. It's just craziness at the moment.
We can say that we know for sure that they'll test this bounty prize out so much that they'll have no problems and no issues when it comes out released. I mean,
that's hilarious, Ross. That is hilarious. That could possibly be the funniest thing I've ever heard on any of these.
Oh my god! I mean, not even into February yet, and you've done it for the year, Ross. Well done.
I mean,
that's so
yeah,
funny.
I think we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to work hard to top that one for funniest thing of the year.
I'm going to go back and copy the subtitles so I can trot it out whenever I need to.
All right. Well, we can do a comparison later down the road when somebody else says something funny. It's like, I can do you a favor. Pop your screen share back up of the BP next week for real quick, because I really wanted. I saw something on the Wrong Thinker things thing that I wanted to talk about because I thought it was fairly humorous.
Oops, sorry. Yep, no worries. Just turn on, you silly thing. It's pushing buttons. It's hard when you have your buttons pushed. All right, go for it.
It was hang on, I'm waiting for it to pop up on the big screen so I can more clearly read it. It was there towards the very end though, where it says when and efforts to make the mechanics of the game more accessible for all. You know, as far as their ongoing efforts, dude. Let me tell you something. I've been playing this game for a long time. When it comes to the making the mechanics of the game easier for everybody to understand, this team, in my opinion, is like probably dead last on as far. But like, prime example, the Piranha depth charge, the new one that we just got. No depth charge has ever been able to fire while it was submerged. We get this out. It can only be equipped that, you know, it came out with the sub. So, but it's like nowhere on the blueprint does it say it can fire underwater. Like, we actually had to go to Kix and ask, hey, can this thing fire underwater? Well, yes. Okay, well, maybe you need to change the blueprint to reflect that. Yeah, we probably should. Okay, we've gotten an update since then. Did that blueprint change at all? No. You know, when it comes to, you know, recently we had the two different launchers. You had the limited launcher that you get through your shards or whatever, and you have the launcher that was in the raid that you can redeem for points. Did they tell us that, hey, these things can't share stacks? No, they didn't tell us. We had to go to them and ask them. So, like, you are epically failing on making mechanics clear to people just in the releases that you guys have done since you've been the team. Now, this is stuff that you can't go back in time and say, oh, well, that was so-and-so that's not here anymore. That's not us. This is stuff that is directly on your shoulders that you have screwed up on releasing and not explaining. So how you think you're going to make things more easily understood, I have no earthly idea.
And to go on that, the damage, we have to calculate damage now to the 10,000th of a percent. It's really easy to do, that is. It's just, yeah, great. Good stuff.
My hope is they come out with that battle log thing in this, which I doubt it.
Well, I mean, the battle log will be helpful, but it's still not going to explain mechanics, the basic mechanics, like all the stuff we were just talking about. Like, you would have to have an extremely easily searchable database to be able for somebody to be able to get answers on all the mechanics they need for this game. There's no way in hell that I can see that you're going to be doing it just in game. No way.
Let's be honest, it's a thought in the wind right now, because I mean, it's nothing more than playback in my opinion. Right? How good's that work? You know. So
did you say thought or fart?
It's a thought. It's a thought, and you know, it's a nice thought. Whether it be implemented and have it be working, in-game working, is the whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still waiting for like an in-game replay. Battle replay would be nice. Accurate battle replay. Would that be a good thing to have added to the game? You know, that type of thing. So I would not be like so counting on this coming, or counting on it working, in my opinion, or be so detailed. I just don't know what it is. And, you know, it's too many ifs.
But I mean, does anybody who is on the panel right now have faith in their ability to make the mechanics of the game more easily accessible and understandable for all? I don't.
No.
I mean, they've done well on the when they condensed the worlds and the sectors and done. They've done well on that, and they've done well in the refactor, the way they did it, without being.
There's probably a lot of people who would argue with that on that point. But go ahead.
But you know, without interrupting the game, rather than the stat on. They've done it. It worked a lot better than a lot of people would have thought. You know, but to get that right, I don't have much faith in. No. So
I mean, I don't know, when you have the people who really do understand the mechanics of this game because they've been playing for so long, and many times we have to go to you to get clarification. If we have to go to you to get clarification, then you're not making things any clearer at all. you know. And sometimes there's been times where we had to explain to you how things worked. So I really, at that point, have no faith in you explaining better to everybody else how the mechanics of the game are going to work to the vast public, when some of us have had to explain to you how mechanics of the game work.
Well, as we know, it's all semantics, because their more accessible is not our more accessible. So that's, to me, what the biggest thing's going to be. And we've also seen that just because someone says something about this is the way that the game's going forward, that doesn't necessarily happen or work or do anything like that. So, because it's interesting, because when you were talking before about the changes to the countermeasure holes and stuff like that, I distinctly remember that there was a fairly large piece of words saying exactly that, you know, we're going to make it so there's more strategy and you can use different solutions to your ships and all that sort of thing. And then when people are doing that, because that's what we do, the goalpost move, and we change and adapt to it, and then they'll just change it again. So it's this. I just think that they've marked us as stooges and marks, and they just watch everybody clamor to do it and laugh. It just boggles my brain.
Well, I know all the stuff around like the PvP changes and the countermeasure, not necessarily itself being nerfed, but you know, the Arbalest being buffed or whatever. I think that all came down to they had in their mind from the get-go how they wanted the Breacher to perform with Arbalest, and anything that was contrary to their preconceived notion, they changed in the game to make it fit what their preconceived notion of how it was supposed to work was, as opposed to letting the game itself naturally dictate how well it was and how well it worked and how successful it was as all.
You know what I think? I think they catered to everybody who copied the fucking builds of the Arbalest and didn't have the balls, like a lot of us, to put damn the scatter guns on there and just go through there and wreck stuff. You know, everybody was just wanting to use that range, and it was a fucking trend, dude. And so the majority of the people has them, so that's the people they're playing on. Well, here I am with my scatter gun that was cool, still pretty cool. Not going to be as good as it was because I had plans for counters to counter these stupid ass ARGs. But you know what? That's out the window. But I'll use strategy and I'll figure something else out. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, when we use strategy and have to figure something else out, that involves us usually having to spend money. Whereas when they do any changes on their end, it just pushes a button.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Yeah, I don't really like being this apathetic and negative, but I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say, and it's. I find it really frustrating in myself because I don't want to be like this, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it all comes down, when you give me a shit product, don't be surprised when you get shit feedback.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, talk about feedback. There's a survey after every time we do a raid. How, blah, blah, blah. I wonder who they listen to. Maybe there's one bloke that was on drugs or was totally drunk, and he said, I want more damage and I want to pay more for targets. And I think that must have been a message that they read and think, oh, look at that. The other ones will be the same. So let's give him up the damage and all that sort of stuff.
No, the message they read was that guy with 1.5 billion points at the top of the leaderboard who spent like $1,000 on the raid. That's the message they read.
Yeah. Because that's why we're getting prizes for placement on a personal leaderboard. We as players have said to them, this is what we're going to do. So they go, woohoo, thanks very much. We can have another party this week. So, on on those reports to the managers, it's like profits are up 1,000%. So, oh, we must be doing something right. So we are to blame for that.
Well, it's funny though, because they say profits are up 1,000%, and then under their breath they mutter, "From this one guy."
And all we had to do is give him a hat.
Yeah, right.
Hey, it wasn't just a hat; it was a badge as well.
I was gonna say, yeah, the thing was, it wasn't even the hat, because 62 people got the hat. The top prize, the only thing they got was that badge and a couple, like 6 days more Strike Build tokens. So, our digital badge that didn't cost anything, we're gonna get like, $1,000 for it, and then we're gonna make sure our mod gets it at the last minute. But that's a whole different story.
Which is not going to be forgotten about, by the way. But anyway, never mind. So,
Oh, that hat was a joke anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did have to laugh. I've forgotten who it was. Someone was, posted a picture of that they'd gotten the hat, but it was the wrong size and it didn't fit anyway. So it was like, well, that's Kicksai for you. Anyway, never mind.
He's got to upgrade, dude. 500 gold, you get a right size hat.
I'm just like, it probably cost you $300 to get that hat, and I could probably go down to my local embroidery shop and get them to make me one for like $10.
We're gonna nerf the hat.
See, the way I think is that everybody should be able to play any which way they want to play, and if they want to spend $1 million on a raid, then that's fine by me. But if they do it that way, then they get all this extra income out of all these extra activities that we have to do. Then please screw down the damage and screw down the repair costs and the build costs. It's all going up again. The build costs are all, up to about 17, 18, 20 days. Screw that down. I mean, if you bleed us through the leaderboard, reduce it somewhere else, and no one would even mind. If 10,000 people get 50 billion points, as long as it makes it's economical to play the game and it doesn't cost you your left kidney, it's just crazy. I suppose I'm the only one that thinks that way, but that's the way I think.
No, you're far from being the only one on that. So.
I mean, I don't mind people spending, $100,000 in the raid. It doesn't bother me. It was everybody should be able to do and play whichever way they think they want to play. But when they do that, then they must give us something. If that you can't just screw everybody and elevate everything from builds to repairs to refits to raids. The amount of events, TLCs, everything's costing more and more and more and more. So you gotta show us a bit of goodwill.
I mean, the whole thing is just a vicious circle, because it's pressure to coin, pressure to coin, pressure to coin, and then you chase away a bunch of people. So then, therefore, the pressure to coin, pressure to coin, pressure to coin has to increase, and then you chase away a bunch more people, and then the pressure to coin increases, and then you chase away a bunch of. This is why you don't have the ability to do microtransactions in this game anymore to be profitable, because you put the screws to your players so fucking bad all the time that you chase over half of your players away from the game.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when it was not unusual to get on and see, like there was 80, 90, 100,000 people playing the game. Now you get on, and if you see 30,000 people, you're like, wow, there's a lot of people online.
Definitely.
Yeah. And we know those numbers, reflect over this, and they don't reflect on Facebook and all the rest of it. But it's still the number that they're presenting. So it's, you can tell the state of the game by that. So
there was 500 sectors. How many is there now?
Yeah, when you can get rid of like full on 4/5 of the world that are in your game, there's a definite problem, and you have caused that problem by turning the screws on everybody all the time.
Yeah.
There's an old saying: you cannot squeeze a penny out of a dollar, and that it'll never happen. You can wrench it as hard as you want, but you'll never have change drop out of your hand. So you got to come up with other ways to maximize those profits. And the old raids, if you think about it, maybe the targets weren't the most fun, but they were scaled across a board from the lower range to the higher targets, to where players could find a happy medium where they were comfortable with to compete and participate in that raid. They were not tier locked, they were not silo locked. They could take, and even if it is silo locked, for instance, the targets, it's like they've categorized this as, all right, there's the top group, there's this middle group, and the lower group. How can we put the most damage to each group? Not how can we give them something where they will want to play and it'll be engaging and they will participate, and in turn, hopefully, feel the need or feel the want and the value of whatever they earn to coin it. That's how you try and build a steady relationship with your gamers. You give them fun, you give them stuff that works, and you don't tweak everything to the max. Yeah, you can have that one boss target for the mega whales that just want to go out there and just get all the points they can. But then have one step down and a step down from that, and even another and another and another. Give us options to where we can find our comfort zone, to where we can participate on our own level.
I totally agree. And building on that even more, I would say that if you can't find a way to incentivize me to spend as opposed to forcing me to spend, that shows a severe lack of imagination on your part. Because I'm thinking all kinds of ways to incentivize people to spend in this game as opposed to forcing them to spend.
I remember back to the Mercury raid where you had to hit 50 targets.
Oh God, here we go.
And how awesome was that? You'd be actually talking to your sector. Anyone see a 49 or 17 or something, and you did it once and that was it. You didn't have to do any more. You got the top prize. But it was fun playing it, and people were interacting, and everybody was doing the raid.
I didn't like that raid. I didn't like that raid one little bit.
No, I reckon it was one of the best ones. That and the ECM raid where you had to hit bases. That was awesome. I loved those two. They were my favorite.
Yeah, I was going to say it may not be everybody's favorite, but it is a good example, and I think we'd all have favorite, styles of raid or whatever. But it's more about talking to the engagement of the players and the excitement and the buzz. And yeah, I don't know how much of that buzz is left anymore, because there's just so many events all the time. It's like, you come in, you log on, it's going to be another event. Well, what a surprise. So
and I will say why I hated that raid a lot. I did like the variety of the raid. It wasn't the same old. At least it was something different. Whether I personally liked the format or not being the point. It did give you, it was something different, more variety.
Yeah. And there have been some really awesome styles of targets over the years. So, the intelligence is there. We just need to get back to that.
The intelligence was there. I'm not sure if it still is or not.
Well, I'd like to hope it is.
the targets we're hitting now aren't that bad. It's just that you cannot see some of the turrets. It's impossible to see, and then it's a little bit too much damage, and it's just it's fun. It's fun to drive. I mean, I don't mind driving those targets, maybe 10, 20 times, but not 500 times. And it's just, I don't know. They have to sort of think of something to make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm certainly not into hitting 24 bloody 120 targets for the FM. That's not really on.
Pardon me, that's 28.1.
Oh, really? Shit, don't tell me that. There must have been something that I thought I could get away with not having.
So what's that, like 50 for me with icebreakers? And 114. Yeah, screw y'all.
And think of the poor person that's doing it with 82s or whatever.
Oh.
It's just a farce.
And you know, with that, like with the FM, why not make it co-op that the bigger guys can help the little guys, or the people that have left the game for a year or two and don't have the fleets and whatnot? Why not make it co-op so that, or not even co-op, but you can prep for the lower and mid-level players. You know, it's not that bad.
I would counter that by saying, if I have to hit 28 targets for my own goddamn shit, when am I going to have time to prep for anybody?
You used to be able to prep them.
Yeah, it used to be. Or you could. I remember the ones where we drove around with a heavy lead and a countermeasure ship, and then someone else would come in and drive behind it. We'd take all the hits, and the medium or the little guy killed the targets, you know, and he got the points for it.
Spectre.
Yeah.
Go out with my Spectre and tank with it for the little guys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something like that. It'll bring the community together. It's a lot of fun if you've got, you know, doing the same thing with someone else. It's a lot more fun than sitting there on your own. And you know, I'm sure that when people have fun, they start spending again. It's not when you tell me I have to give you $1, I'm giving you $1. It's when I'm having fun at the game. That's when I'll give you $1, not when you tell me to.
Yeah, the more you tell me I need to spend, the tighter my grip becomes on my wallet.
Exactly right. And again, it's just me, but I thought, but maybe, well, there's two of us now, Damnation.
My God, I'm agreeing with Toxic on something.
Yeah, there you go. Live on air, everyone.
Apocalypse is happening at this time tomorrow, so hold your loved ones tight.
Well, this time tomorrow I'll still be at work.
That's depressing.
I know, right?
There's going to be an apocalypse and I'm stuck at work. Oh, goodness.
Well, you're playing Battle Pirates as we speak, right? So you're at work right now.
No, very funny. Yeah, my second job, they need to start paying me.
Yeah. Very good. Well, is there anything else anyone wants to talk about on this lovely week of Battle Pirates?
I don't know. The only last thing is, before you start making all these sweeping changes that it looks like you're going to make, ask people if they even want the shit. You know? I mean, I get very frustrated with their level of hubris and arrogance, thinking that they know best what's best for the game, that they don't even actually physically play. I get tired of that. I get really tired of that. And then when you try to explain things to them, being talked down to and condescended to, when you're actually telling them more what's in line with what people want than what they're doing, I get extremely tired and sick of that.
GD Allspice comes to mind.
Yeah.
we don't know how to hit bases. What did he say? I can't even remember. It's how funny it was.
So many things to piss the community off that wasn't even funny.
That's right. It was we've looked at your bases and all the ships you build are crap.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the very next week they try to sell us illegal fleets.
That's right. That's the one I meant to say. Yeah. I knew there was something.
Sorry, what did you say there, Simba?
I tell him kiss my white butt.
Very much so. Then we have silence again. So this is your last chance to say anything that you want to say, because I don't really, I can't really drive us forward because I don't really know what to say anymore.
Look at the stats, Kixeye, and listen to what people tell you. Read all information that and surveys that you get from players. Don't just read the ones that you prefer, or the ones that read them all.
Shit, maybe I should do the survey. Maybe they'll listen to me.
Everybody should do the survey.
Yeah, everybody should.
I think the new team should find the old builds, all the old raids, go back and load them on a computer and fucking play them. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, search YouTube for the old YouTube videos of how people used to hit bases and whatnot. That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Well, the sad thing is, these targets and these, things exist. The code's got to be there. So, because you wouldn't just, put all this time and effort into making the code and then just, putting it in your trash can or deleting it. So, put them in the tower. Give people something fun to go back and do. Or, we've talked about the towers so many times in the campaigns for ships that are useless. So why not put those raid targets back in the tower so you could do something with the ships that are useless? So, no one's going to go through a campaign to win an incinerator to build an incinerator that then they can't use. It's just craziness. And these are the things that make the game less accessible to people because you've led them down the wrong path.
Carl in chat just said an awesome point. It's like, why would non-coiners want to coin when the coiners are no longer wanting to coin?
Nice. It's a very good point. And that's the thing, a lot of the community is saying all of this, but it just falls on deaf ears. And yeah, I don't know.
Well, something I think is kind of funny, Discord was supposed to be the live interaction with the Kicks guys and the decision makers, and we were supposed to have input with that. I don't ever see Wrong Thinker on there. I don't ever see Golden Doodle on there. I mean,
no, you get the same people who just type rigorous bull crap on there to get their points up or whatever it is.
I mean, this is no not to Chris or Corbin is extremely active on there. Aaron is extremely active on there. I see a lot of Robot on there. This is no ditch to those guys, but unfortunately, you guys aren't the people who decide things there, and the people who actually are the ones who decide things and do not interact with the community at all.
They're never even logged in.
Yeah, therein lies a ton of your problems. I remember asking Golden Doodle, "Hey, are you going to be just as active as what Just Mike was on Discord?" He's like, "Yeah." And that was the last time I ever saw the guy. So if the guy who was the general manager is lying to me about something like that, why should I have any faith in anything this team says to me?
Yeah, I know Discord's a real struggle for me. I was, kind of interested in it when it first came out, and now, I go in there. I think it was last week that I was looking at something, and I was like, all I could see was a whole lot of memes and swearing, and it was like, well, that's not really teaching me anything or telling me anything, so it's not very helpful. So I logged straight back out again. So it just, it's strange.
All right, one more time. Does anybody have any more last minute things they want to say?
Or forever hold your peace.
We'll just go down the line. News. Any more last minute things?
No, I'm good.
Toxic. You always got one more last minute thing.
Well, listen to us all cry about this raid cycle, how we were all underprepared. Please don't make the same mistake for the next cycle. That's all I have to say.
Simba?
I wish they would actually go back to the way they had it before, where we had a campaign where we were actually able to do it for raid points in the targets, just at your base. Last time I seen that, I think it was the Buccaneer one. We haven't seen it since. It'd be nice to see that again.
Ross.
Testing. I just want to see more testing. That's it.
RB.
I don't know. I've kind of said things. I am kind of interested in the quality of life improvements that they're promising. So I want to see delivery on promises. So that's my only thing.
And I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because I have probably 20 last minute things I could go on about, but I'm not going to. So take it home, RB.
Okay, cool. Thanks to everyone in chat. I'm just having a look at it now. It's really good to see everybody talking and interacting. That's really nice to see. So thanks for that. Obviously, if you can like and share the video to your pages and groups, and hopefully we're talking about things that actually reflect what's going on. So by all means, it's always good to have different opinions and all that sort of thing. So subscribe if you'd like to as well. And there's been a lot of action on the page. There is that strange Facebook thing that's going on at the moment that if people, what is it? If you've been invited to a group,
it's not important and worth going into.
Okay. All right. Anyway. All right. See you, everyone. Good luck with everything. Let's all cross our fingers that Bounty's good and they don't screw us too bad. And I guess we'll see you all next week. And have a good week, everyone.
I'll be here.
Enjoy your VXP weekend that you really don't have to participate in if you don't want to.
No.
Later, guys.
See ya. Maru.